Good morning, everyone. And yes, we're spring camping in the snow. You can actually see the picnic table in front of me is a little bit frosty. So I wanted to add something to a previous video we did a few weeks ago. You may recall that we looked at two Class B camper vans at the time, and we wanted to mention one that's coming out. One that we referenced a couple years ago in a conversation with the CEO of Roadtrek, and it's the new Westfalia, the Westfalia Wave. The Westfalia brand is owned by Rapido in France, who also owns Roadtrek here. A bit different in the sense that it's not the classic Westfalia, rather it's a new North American Westfalia, and that actually is the company, I guess, that it's being launched under. And it's being built by Roadtrek, and it offers very similar features to most of the Roadtrek vans. We'll go over those just in a bit of detail. Now, we're not doing a review because we haven't had a chance to see it. I'm just going to talk to some of the points that we've seen in some of the brochures and some of the correspondence that I've had with the head of sales for both Roadtrek and Westfalia North America. Okay, so let's jump right into the specifications. Now, first thing you'll note is that the new Westfalia Wave comes on a Ram ProMaster 3500 chassis. Now, there's actually two models, the Wave Skylight, which is the standard model, and then of course you can choose to have a Wave pop top. That's optional. The exterior length of the van is 20 feet 9 inches. The exterior height is 9 foot 5, and the exterior width is 6 feet 11 inches. So that's pretty common on the majority of the vans produced by Roadtrek today. In terms of the capacity for the fresh water tank, it's 38.3 gallons. It has a cassette toilet, so it's 4.76 gallons. Now that's different than the majority of the Roadtrek models. I believe the only other model with a cassette toilet is the Roadtrek Pivot. So if you like cassette toilets, this might be a van for you. Gray water tank has 26.4 gallons. In terms of batteries, it has a 600 amp lithium system plus an underhood generator. So that's very common in a number of Roadtrek models that are produced today. The inverter is 3000 watt sine wave. In terms of solar, you've got hard panels totaling 300 watts on the standard system, and if you go with the pop top, you've got a 200 watt flexible mat. Furnace and hot water heating system is a Truma LP Combo Eco Plus. Air conditioning on the standard is a Truma Aventa Eco Roof Mount. It's a 13,500 BTU air conditioner. And if you do go with the pop top, you actually get a GE Roof Mount, 13,500 BTU. Propane on both is a 30-pound LP tank. Refrigerator is a 12-volt compressor refrigerator. Now what's different about the refrigerator is it's placed lower down near the sliding door, so you could actually access it from outside if you want. The other point that's really different, I think, compared to a lot of the other van options offered by Roadtrek is the bed configuration and the sleeping capacity. And I'll talk about those in a few more minutes, but effectively they show the sleeping capacity for the standard Skylight at 4, whereas if you choose the pop top, the sleeping capacity would be 6. And though not listed in the specifications, Westfalia/Roadtrek got back to us and let us know that the Wave will have a posi resin insulation in the sidewalls, door jackets, and in the ceiling. So that helps keep the van a little bit warmer. So I've covered off a number of the specifications, and note that a number of the specs and some of the options are very similar to some of the existing Roadtrek vans. So what makes the Westfalia somewhat unique? And really they identify 3 areas: Euro styling, versatility in the sleeping arrangements, and intentional storage. So with regard to Euro styling, really that's brighter tones, more natural tones, sleeker lines, brighter finish, something that we've seen in European vans for a number of years. Even the bathroom is probably more European design. I mean, it has a cassette toilet, which I believe is more common in Europe, and it is a wet bath, but just the functionality is similar to what you would see in some of the European vans that we've seen in the last few years. With regard to sleeping, I think there are 3 items that are significantly different. One is the optional pop top that would sleep 2 adults. The other is the dinette. Now, in some Class B vans, the dinette will accommodate or will turn into a small sleeping area. In this case, it's sort of how it's done. It effectively folds over to become a bed. It's 69 inches long by 39 inches wide, so would hold probably an average-sized adult or two smaller children. The other item with regard to versatility in sleeping is the rear bed. Now, the rear bed is a permanent bed. It's raised up, so you have a lot more storage underneath, which is helpful, certainly something we'd appreciate in our van. But what's also unique is actually, and this kind of leans over into the storage side, is the fact that the rear of the bed can slide forward. And what that does is open up quite a tall space in the back. So if you wanted to have bikes standing up or an item 5 feet tall, you could do so. So that's quite unique in van travel. Now, the bed itself can either have twin beds, or you can turn it into a queen size bed. The dimensions of the bed are 71 inches by 69 inches or 80 inches, depending on how you configure the bed itself. In most cases, I think you would probably sleep north-south. I think it'd be just a little too narrow to try and sleep east-west for most people. The intentional storage, as I referenced, part of that is just the way the bed folds back to allow more capacity and just the capacity, the storage area under the bed itself. But they've also built a number of spaces along the walls, on the side walls, to fit things. There's room under some of the steps, just a lot more functional. Anytime there's a little bit of space, they look for some way to turn it into a storage area. So that covers off the majority of both the specs and the differences in the Westfalia Wave. So I hope you enjoyed that quick intro into the Westfalia Wave. Now, as we understand it, they're hoping to get product out to the market sometime by June. Not sure if that date will change. And for those who live in British Columbia, they're looking at initial distribution will be to the Roadtrek dealer in the Kelowna area, and then to the Roadtrek dealer on Vancouver Island. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give us a thumbs up. It helps a lot. And Finch, Mickey, and I will see you next time.